Hi, everybody, and welcome to the live show for Prettiest Girl in the Grave by Christopher Triana. I am joined by Kristine from Crits Reads,
Hey.
and her channel is linked in the description box down below, and it's really awesome. She does a lot of unboxings, and she reads dark and disturbing things, and actually has an awesome last weekend Halloween reading vlog that I really liked. And yeah, definitely go check her out, sub. And yeah, so we're going to get into it. We're not going to do spoilers just yet. um, I will put up a banner just to see like who's read it and who hasn't read it. And we'll wait a couple of minutes for some people to show up if they're not here already. But you can leave these emojis. So you can leave a tooth if you've read it and you know what that would mean, and a ghost if you did not read it. But for the Reaper Book Club for November, we're doing a bit of a hiatus for November and December, but I'm going to be starting off fresh in January. And I think that's it. Did I do everything I just said? I just told Kristine all of this.
I didn't know
I
there was
feel
gonna be a pop quiz.
I know. I feel like I'm very like out of it today, very tired today.
Halloween hangover is real.
It is. And I didn't even like drink, but it's just like the feeling of doing
Maybe that was
Halloween
the
on
problem.
Yeah, maybe that was the problem. Yes. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Go Gamer. Hey, Andrew. You did not read it. Lauren read it. Hi. That's either my niece or nephew. I'm pretty sure it's my niece.
I remember seeing them in sprints or something.
I am terrible at getting to book clubs, so I missed this, but I'm here. Yay, you're here. Yeah, that's I know, is it Carly likes to just be in book clubs she didn't read the book for like out of context stuff. But the good thing about the Reaper Book Club's books is that they're all under 200 pages. I think this one is over 200 pages though. So they're not. Actually, no, this is 200
Yeah, it's
in my
just under.
physical.
The formatting is like wall to wall page like text though sometimes.
I noticed that, and it's like that white. It's just white, which drives me crazy. I'm like, can't you
I'm
just
sure
be
it's
a
just
little off
cheaper
white?
to print, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you read it physically or did you do the audio?
I did. I don't do well with audio, and then I'm always scared that I'm going to rate something lower because I did audio, just because my mind wanders too much.
I did it physically as well. It was kind of fun. I read it mostly on Halloween, so it was like fun to just kind of have a couple hours to be cozy and like read a
Yeah.
spooky story. So did you want to say the premise of talk about the premise of
So
The Prettiest Girl in the
here's
Grave?
me trying to remember. So this takes place with a group of friends that are meeting. Not on Halloween, are they? Are they on
It's
Halloween?
not Halloween, but it's cold. I think it's like a fall
Yeah, it
or
definitely has
winter.
Halloween vibes.
It's like
They
New England
Yeah.
vibe.
So it's just cold all the time. So they decide to go meet at this graveyard that nobody really knows about. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And they have this game that they're going to play that no one really knows about except for like the leader of this group. Was it Aubrey?
Mhm.
She's got this game that they're going to play called The Prettiest Girl in the Grave. And basically, she asks three questions. And once everybody in their group answers, then the game is on.
Yeah, I really liked the setup. I liked how it was like I had no idea where it was going because I didn't know
Yeah.
really anything. I only knew the premise of the girls meeting in the graveyard and then playing a game. And speaking of the game, before we get into ratings, I thought it would be fun if we answered the questions from the game at the beginning. I was going to do this at the end, but I'm like, I feel like it'd be fun to do at the beginning, like we're opening up the chat a little bit. So the first question Aubrey asked is, what are you afraid of? So no pressure or anything. And you guys feel free
Um,
to answer in the chat too. What are you afraid of?
I definitely don't like spiders, but I think as I've gotten older, I'm less afraid of them. Um, but I think something that has been kind of triggered from watching some movies lately, like where a character like will crawl into like an underground area, like especially into a really tight spot where you can't just turn around and get out. And I'm just like, why? Why would you ever do that? I just watched that movie. I'm gonna screw up the name of it, like From Above, Down Below, or something like that.
Oh yeah, as above, sit down. I know what you're talking about. The
Yeah,
Paris one, the catacomb one. Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, hell no, hell no.
There's a
So
part where they're like, that good dude freaks out too. He's like, no, I'm not going through that, but he has
I
to. Ah, that
yeah,
is
that was
terrifying.
brutal. But yeah, I don't even think I'm claustrophobic. It's just that being in a spot where you cannot just stand up and turn around and get out of there. Like I don't want to be stuck anywhere.
Yeah, that is a true fear, like, kind of like being buried alive or something, like, claustrophobic
That pretty much is
feeling.
being buried alive.
Yeah. I, had got really claustrophobic. I didn't think I had claustrophobia until I started getting, like, my eyebrows waxed at, like, a salon, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I cannot do this." Like, I'm
You're gonna
sorry,
have
I will
to tell
pay.
me because you don't ever see my eyebrows. I don't do anything with them. Like, is it like something they put over your face, like your whole
It was
face?
just like, it just takes longer than I thought it was going to take. I mean, it's been years because, like, I can't do it, and you have to have your eyes closed, and there's just somebody over you, like, with the
Like
stuff and, like, hovering. I don't know, I just, like,
just
gave me,
up
like,
close and personal.
yeah, it just gave me, like, anxiety, but I guess my biggest fear, I definitely don't like spiders, so
We
that
get
yeah.
pretty big ones here. So I'm originally from the Midwest and I thought I hated spiders there, but their spiders are like maybe that big. And now I live in the Pacific Northwest and we get like gigantoid spiders and every like September only like maybe 2 or 3 make their way in the house, but they're big enough that when you squish them you could hear them hit the floor. Like
Ugh.
yeah.
No,
So
no,
yeah,
no.
this book was great.
Yeah, there's a great spider scene in it. Um, so let's see what everybody else fears. Oh, hey, Kelsey.
Yeah, what's their deepest fear?
Yeah, what is your deepest fear? Oh, my niece is reading for school. That's good.
That's their deepest fear.
That's their deepest fear. Large bodies of water. Yeah, water is creepy. And spiders. Yeah, spiders. Ugh.
Underwater spiders.
Ooh, stuff going into my eye is what I'm afraid of. Eye stuff in general. Oh no. Tatum's favorite fear is clowns. That's a legit fear. Have you seen The Descent, Kristine?
I have not, but I've been watching so many movies lately, and anytime someone recommends something, I'm like looking it up to see. So I'll have to check that one out.
That's a good one. And there's two, and the second one starts off like right when the first one ends, which is fun. And spiders. Ugh, yeah. Lauren is like, you want to get more traumatized. Ask questions in Jigsaw voice. Yes, I want to play a game. The Descent is good. Oh yeah, one of my all-time faves. The spider scene in this book was insane. It was. It was a lot. Okay, on to the next question. Who do you love? I wanted to sing a song to that. I don't know why.
Well, don't let me hold you back.
Who? Oh, it's like That's not even the song. It's like, if you can't be with the one you love. Um,
Of course, I'm gonna
I
say my family, like my son, and
yeah,
then my dog. Kind of obsessed with my dog.
same. Or I don't have a dog, but Beans. Yeah.
Yes, Sprocket.
Um, I feel like that's a really easy one. But this was asked of high school girls in
Yeah,
the
that's
book,
a little
so it's a little
different,
bit
and I
more
thought it's weird that they're
complicated.
just, like, naming their crush that they've never talked to or whatever. It's like,
Yeah,
"Whoa,
like
jumping."
what would that you don't even know what that would do. You don't even know what you're messing with yet.
No.
So
You're just in love with the idea of being in love at that point.
exactly. Hi, Sherry. So right now we are actually answering the questions of the game played at the beginning of the book because I thought it would be fun. I thought it would just be fun to do. Oh, your teacher? Don't be scared of your teacher. Jackson. Jackson is adorable. I
Corn
love
dog,
Jackson too. Every one of my cats.
but who's
Yes.
your favorite?
That is that would be tough to choose if I had more than one cat.
Yeah, I've never had more than one animal at a time, so
Aw, future pug one day.
aw.
Pugs are so cute. I am pro you getting a pug. They are so cute. If we ever got Jackson a brother, I really wanted to be a pug. They are adorable. Lauren would die of happiness.
What a way to go, though.
Okay, the final question where everybody knows the answer to this one. What happens when you die?
That's bleak, but, yeah, one of the characters said this, and they're just like, "You just cease to exist." And that is probably a good fear, is that you just stop existing.
Yeah, like there's nothing.
Yeah,
Like
I would like to believe that I could be, like, hanging around, haunting people, but
I
guess we'll
know.
find out.
I got to make like a ghost board, vision board. Be like, like
You gotta put it out into the
ghost.
world there to make it happen.
Yes. I haunt all my favorite peeps. Yes. Kelsey would be creeping and peeping. Squirrel is my favorite, but don't tell her because I don't like later you go. I just love the name Squirrel for cat. I haunt all of my least favorite peeps. Oh,
You'd probably get sick of being around them.
yeah. You just stop existing, but you're always around energetically, looking out for the homies. Oh, I love that. Okay. Now we can get into the book chat. I just thought that would be fun to do.
Now
So
that
yeah,
we've started the game and we can't finish it,
yes. Now we have to go into a crypt.
I'm not
uh,
leaving till I get my tiara.
yes. So I am going to put up the spoilers because this book is under 200 pages, really easy to spoil. So a group of these girls go into the crypt, and then some stuff goes down. Oh yeah, ratings. What did everybody rate it? And then we can chat spoilers. I gave it 4.5. I think out of Triana books, this is my fourth one I read, and I think the writing is absolutely gorgeous in parts of it. I was like, wow, he was going for a beautiful book about the prettiest girl in the grave. I actually have like one of my favorite lines highlighted. Aubrey's eyes were vacant, and yet they hardened as if she were growing angry at a dream. Like, what a great line that is.
There's
Like,
a few that, yeah, that I thought were unique.
yeah, like I feel like you got everything from that sentence of like I could see Aubrey's face and like just that mood was just set. Um oh, I don't know where I left off. Yay, it was fun. Katrina, did you just make us all equivalent in not closing the red book? Well, I don't think so because it's a fiction book. So this is a made up game.
And it's not red.
And it's not red. It's orange and black like Halloween. I gave it 3 stars. I see lots of 3 stars. I'm still so undecided, maybe 3 stars. Gone to See the Riverman felt way more disturbing. Yeah, Gone to See the Riverman was an extreme horror book. This is just like one of his regular horror books, and I actually like it more because I read Into the Wood or What Happened in the Woods or something, like a month ago, and that's like another like regular Triana book, horror book, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Um, so, well, like I like this one a lot better. What did you give it, Kristine?
I've been on the fence about this one, and I keep going back and forth between 3.5 and 3 stars. Mostly because I liked the beginning so much. Like I was really into it. And then probably about the halfway point is where I started getting frustrated with certain themes of the book that I don't want to be that person. Like I try not to take horror too seriously, but I was just kind of bothered by all of the like pettiness between friends and women and pitting women against women and
Mhm.
everything being about a beauty pageant and I don't know all that stuff. At first, I started tabbing all the parts I was really into, and then towards the second half, I was like, just finding myself making this face, like, like why? And then I
That's
was
why
tabbing
I
parts that I
didn't give
didn't
it 5
like.
stars, yeah. Um, I feel like having characters that are all women and girls, um, and not have, like, just that hint of feminism in it, right? Like, there needs to be, like, at least one character being like, "Yeah, this is my best friend," or whatever, and we have grown apart, like, she's, a jock now and, like, really driven and stuff in school, like maybe Bella could have just been like, but I still love her and I support her with anything she does. Like, I don't know. I feel like the same way. It did feel like, um, yeah, there was like, there needed to be a balance to it and it wasn't there at all. But I see what the author was doing with that. Like, this is how beauty pageant culture is. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
I kind of
not in a
kept going.
crypt, but
I kept wondering, was this the point? Like, was he trying to make a point with this? Or, and I just wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% convinced that that was what he was trying to do. And female culture, like, I forget we were talking about this in sprints at some point, and I said when I was younger, I think we were watching Slaughter House, and someone asked if we were in sororities, and I was like, at that age, I just did not get along with other females. I had no desire to be friends with them. I just got along with guys better because there's no drama. But I understand that that exists, and when you see movies like Mean Girls and things like that where they talk about it, but I feel like it was just missing something to make it be making a point as opposed to and having like that undercurrent of feminism there. Like I just didn't see it getting better.
yeah, I was um not expecting the beauty pageant thing.
The beauty pageant thing was weird, but I
Like
understand that like the
the
characters were from
or
long
like her
ago.
being the announcement thing, I was like so confused. Like I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Um yeah, that was what was holding me back. But I think the writing was done so well. In the beginning of it too, there's so much foreshadowing to like what actually goes down in the crypt. I thought it was pretty clever what he did. Like he says dead so many times in it. There's hints to the spider scene, there's hints to the bear scene, there's
I
what
didn't
else is
catch
it?
any of that.
And it felt like when the bear scene happened right at the beginning, I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, is this gonna be like a goth Jumanji?" Like they just started this game or something and like it's gonna be like they have to do everything they answered in the questions. Um, I wish he
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
when I
kept with
was super
that.
into it. I was
Yeah.
super into that part.
Um, I had to keep notes and yeah, so there is flashbacks in this story. They flash back to the 90s with the character's mother and when she played this game in the crypt as well. I did like the flashback part a little bit more because you that's where you got the chunk of what was actually going on. Um, and it felt sped up. It was like, okay, so like she's doing the beauty pageant and like this is what's happening. Uh, the book all the women hated each other or were competing against each other and then never really overcoming any of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like if they at something someone might have made a sacrifice for someone else, their best friend or something towards the end, instead of sacrificing them, I would have been more into it, but it felt like it didn't redeem itself in that particular note there.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at my oh, there was some things too that just like didn't make sense to me either. Like when Holly goes to the other parents and is like, your kid's missing or our kids are missing. And the wife is like, okay, well, you go because I got a meeting in the morning. And I was like, yo, like, my mom would be like out, like calling
I
all the cops. Like,
I think that they were trying to make us like not care about the wife because of what was going on between Holly and I forget the dude's name. Um, but that whole subplot was kind of weird to me. Anyway, I wasn't 100% sure why it was there. I guess it was so that you can make it. Remember, she gets really jealous because she's like, "Oh, I wanted her to be my sister," and she's ruining everything by like, if our parents end up together, then she could be my sister instead of just my best friend.
yeah. Yeah, that was weird. Like, uh, there was a lot of like sex stuff in it too. With that, maybe that's why he had the affair in it to have like an actual sex scene in it. I don't know. Like
I didn't
it just seemed
understand
weird.
why it was there.
Yes, I also that's the only beauty show I would ever go to because they're horrible.
I'm like picturing the crypt keeper now, like in a gown.
Yes, the most beautiful crypt keeper.
Yes.
We should do it. Like, let's start fundraising. I kind of saw it as a cautionary tale that deep down, the most prettiest girls, the ones who won at the end, were the most ugliest, willing to do the most violent and horrid things to other women. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it because, yeah, in the end, it's Bella whose mother was the prettiest girl from like the 90s. And they end up getting another, was it a fleshy crown? And she adds it to her other one. And she's not a great person, like, um, because yeah, she had an affair and she was just like she seemed to blame everybody else for her problems too. Like when you first meet that character, it's like, oh, because her husband was lazy. Oh, because, like that's why she doesn't have a life anymore. She has nobody in her life that she cares about. But it's like, that's on you. Like, you can't blame other people for for where you're at now. Yeah, that's great. God, Jumanji. Um, yes. I would love to read Rachel Harrison's version of this book. Yes, that would be great.
I
I
think
did
it
really
needed a
like
female touch. Yes.
yeah. And I think out of the Christopher Triana books, there's not ever been a great female character.
I've only read 2, and the other one was Gone to See the Riverman, and that was one of the worst. But at least she was consistent.
Yeah. I read Gone to See the Riverman. They all died screaming. Toxic Love, and That Night in the Woods. And then I've read a thriller. Actually, this is my 6th book I've read from it.
Wow. I didn't even know we had that many.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of thriller, or not a lot, but there's like horror thrillers that he did, and I think the one I read was like it was an evil kid thriller, like this past winter. I think it's called The Black Sheep or something. I forget. I might be getting it confused with the new Rachel Harris. Wasn't it so disturbing that Holly talked about the
Yes.
crown with such pride? Yeah, and then, no witnesses too. It just kept going, which is my favorite thing in horror, so that's why I
I
gave it
just
such a
didn't see
high
it
rating.
coming. I did not see that part coming. It's kind of weird because at the very beginning when Holly's interests are introduced on page 9, I was like, I identify with her so much because she's just like, "Oh, I'm so tired of working and I have no energy and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Yes, girl, I know." And she just wants to take care of her daughter. And then I don't know what happened to her, and I'm like, I don't know you anymore.
Yeah, she shifted. It was like, did we ever know her? But there was this bitterness inside of her from, like, that first chapter, I feel like. Like, you kinda get, like, she's bitter about something. Um, how did you like the characters? I know there was a lot and it shifted a lot of POVs, but, did you have a favorite character?
I thought about it, and I think my favorite character was Rose. That's the best friend, right?
Mhm.
Oh, all of their names were so interchangeable. Um, I think I liked her the most because I felt like she was the truest character. Um, she just towards the end is just like, you know what? If I got to do this, this is what I'm going to do. And I know that they were all being like influenced by the ghosts or the spirits in the catacombs. So they weren't necessarily doing things that they would have done normally, but she just had total final girl energy. And I kind of wanted her to come out. I wanted her with the tiara.
I mean, she did take the dress off, the
Yeah,
body.
she was gonna do whatever it took to get out of there, but I
I
felt
was
like she had the
shocked.
truest motives, and I really like the way that they explored at the very beginning, like, having 2 circles of friends, because when you're younger, I remember that when you're, like, friends with one person that has, like, a totally different type of, personality than someone else, and then you try to bring your 2 friends together thinking, "Oh, we could all be friends," and then it just doesn't work out, and there's like this weird jealousy thing. I thought that was very, very true to like that time period of in your life.
Yeah, it's tough to bring in a new person, into a friend group, uh, and Aubrey was older too. Aubrey was 20 years old, right? She wasn't in high school. She was, like, the older cool chick, which that's weird to bring in, like, an older person, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
didn't realize until further in that she was a bit older. I found it confusing when they started going back and forth between the friend groups. Um, it was kind of flipping. I know that it, like, indicated in the book that it was, like, going to Holly, but then you were going between past and present, and I feel like it kinda took away. I think it did a disservice to the story that we were in with the main set of friends, that I wish we could have found the, past out a different way.
Yeah, there was a lot of characters, and then you're kinda being introduced, like, what is it, halfway through the book, you're being introduced to the other girls from the '90s, like, really, really fast because it was,
Yeah.
like, very fast paced. Um, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part, hands down, was the spiders.
The spiders was a really good part. I really like the ending though, like, when they're leaving and, like, they're all, like it's like a beauty pageant, like, they won, but they're all, like, ripping parts of themselves off. Like, I was like, "Oh, yeah. This is
I
my type of
pictured,
beauty
like, the
pageant."
people that were dead too, like, so proud that they were like, "Here's my finger."
Mhm.
And
Well,
then
yeah, like,
did she,
"Here's
like,
my
pull out her
eye."
eye and just put
Yeah.
it right in the middle like a jewel?
Yes. I was like, "Yes." Oh my gosh, I loved it. I was
That
like
spider part though, because I was, like, writing notes, just the stuff I wanted to remember, and I just write, The spider scene. The babies are going in her eyes, her nose. It's in her fucking eyelid. Rose licked it out. Like, even my
Rose,
writing is just in caps.
quick thinking, Rose. I
Yeah.
think um I didn't write that part, but I was like shocked. Oh, also like a question I had too, like, so which girl would you be the one that's showing up? Like, oh, you said Rose, or you liked Rose, but I honestly like I would probably be the Celeste girl with the water bottle of vodka in high school. I'd be like, "Yeah, are we getting trashed here? Like, what are we doing?" Like, that would be me. Also, like, these kids, the recent kids listening to Regina Spektor, like Bella listened to Regina Spektor, like, what high school kids nowadays are listening to Regina Spektor? I'm sorry. That's not true.
I think I was a combination of Celeste and Rose. I wasn't like a jock, but I definitely have that really competitive streak to me that, yeah, would have had me ripping some dresses off of people, I think.
Dead people.
If it was getting me out of there, that's what I gotta do.
I liked the like the whole backstory of Madeline too, being from like that family, and like um her always are her and her sisters competing in beauty pageants, but she's the only one that ever won, and her sister's trying to kill her, and her being buried alive. Like, it was such a great like lore. I was like, oh yeah, I love this lore. It's so fantastic, and like had
It's
like
kind of
old
weird though,
timey
like
vibes.
why was it such a secret that nobody knew about it except for a select few?
It could be like that was part of Madeline's curse too, because right, it was only the word of mouth through the women, and like it doesn't work on guys or whatever. Like, they couldn't see the crypt. So there's no guys allowed in the crypt.
Just has a sign on the front, no boys allowed.
I don't feel like there was one character that I connected with, or that I had enough texture to build that connection. Maybe Marnie. Marnie was cute, the little sister. She gets the worst part.
That bear scene was pretty brutal too. I feel like he came out swinging in the front of half of this book with those scenes, and I just wanted more like that. More spiders and bears and lions, oh
Yeah.
my.
It kind of turned into like a little bit of an info dump, and some melodrama with like psychological stuff going on. I feel like towards the end, like all of the like them feeling like they're high or like hallucinating and
Yeah,
everything.
I don't like it when characters like their actions are influenced by like the spirit. I would have rather seen that them like actually truly be battling it out for like things that they held inside of them that like they were upset about or jealous about or whatever, instead of just being like, oh, we started making out and it was totally because of this ghost, or I set her on fire and it's not my fault. It's the ghost's fault.
It was the ghost. Like, that's what happened. The bear seed, yes. When she licked it out, I was like, what? I was like, is that true? Or is that just like him being a weirdo with girls? Like, I was like, I don't know.
I loved it. I was cheering for that part. Because how else are you going to get it out? You can't use your nails. You're going to scratch your eye. You sometimes just got to lick a spider out.
I would be like, it's in there.
I'm like, that's your problem, not
I
mine.
mean, like, I'll go to patient first tomorrow. It's fine. What's with people licking eyeballs in the books these days? Yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorite books this year.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
I've never done it. I need to do that one day, I guess. Not humanized. Probably be like, I almost said lobster eye, but that seems gross too. I didn't read it, but I think I would also be the girl with the bottle of vodka.
The
Yeah.
prettiest girl with the vodka.
Good. We don't belong in crypts. We aren't cool enough. Yeah, yeah. If a guy goes down there, I guess it was explained he wouldn't be able to see the maze, the labyrinth tunnels. You would be able to see the crypt, but not the actual like crypt where it all goes down.
And you still get possessed enough to have sex with your daughter's best friend's mom.
Well, he was allowed in because he was her king,
Oh, yeah.
because she already won, but we didn't know that until that point, I guess, like, that she was allowed to bring him back. And then, yeah, thrown in there. Ah, lobster eyes, though. Yeah, that does sound really bad. I think that's from The Simpsons. I think I learned that from The Simpsons. Bart's
That
like, when they go
licking
to eat the
lobster eyes you
lobster,
did.
he's like, "I wanted to eat the eyeballs." Um,
That's why I can't even look at fish, like, their little eyes just looking at you.
they're staring right back.
Yeah, when you're at the
Um
grocery store, I'm like, "No, thanks."
So I thought it was very creepy at the beginning that it was only women that knew about this. I was like, great, another thing like women have to do in the world in that town. I was
Another
like, they have
burden.
to battle for the death, for a crown of bones. Um,
I thought
so
it was weird that it's only happened, like, one other time, though.
I wonder if it happened more because isn't it wasn't Madeline in the early 1900s?
It said something at one point, like, it only happens once a century and I'm like, "Now you're just making shit up." Like, I wanted to see way more, like, past dead people down there.
I feel like Holly too wouldn't even have, like, researched it. She'd just be like, "Okay, I'm out, and I got my crown, and I'm
But
gonna."
she never warned her daughter to not go there.
She forgot about it. She put it in the attic. It
She's
wasn't
not
on
the best
display.
mom.
I think this felt like a bit cinematic too, where it was like, "Oh, it's just gonna be, like, a bunch of plot holes." Like, we're not gonna know, um, that we know about. Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of body. Weren't there, like, blue like well, there was a lot of blue lights. There was, like, oh, what was it? Because it was like the whole family was down there, but not her mom and dad. Mm. She ate her mom and dad.
Well, they were down there.
They were down there. Remember there were clothing from different decades in the room. Yeah.
I think towards the end, things got kinda chaotic, and it was just, like, kind of going past me.
Yeah, I think, it was mentioned there was, like, different closed decades, but Holly didn't talk about it at all because she was like remember she was like, "I tried to forget," or whatever, like, I never wanted to like, she didn't even know Aubrey's mom made it out.
That's really weird, especially since you kept the tiara, and she probably puts it on every night and just looks at herself.
With her giant glass of wine in her bathtub. Yeah, she didn't even know that, and then, yeah, she thought Aubrey was, um, Bridget? Her friend Bridget that she left to die down
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty weird because I got the feeling that they were from a pretty small town.
Yeah, and, maybe she knew but didn't know she had a daughter.
Oh, that makes sense.
Um, mm. Oh, okay. So, this is my last question, and then I have, like, another, like I just have a book or movie rec question. Do you think you'd be the prettiest girl in the grave?
I probably would have been dead by the time the spider thing happened. I'd have been like, "Hell no."
Yeah. Same. I would be, like, the drunk one, so I would be done. I'd they'd have to take away my vodka and be like, "You gotta focus," and I'd be like, "Well, just do it. Just get it over with," you know?
And I can't see, like, if they were, like, a group of girls that were, somehow just came together from school that weren't really friends, then maybe, and I know some of them weren't friends, but your best friend? I don't know. That's messed up. I wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to. I've been like, "We just live here now."
We gotta eat these old corpses, whatever's
Ugh.
left.
Well,
Weren't
there
they
was some
like
spiders and bear meat down there.
yeah, they were down there for a long time, the first set of girls, right? Or they thought they were down there
Yeah,
for
they
like a
were down
week.
there for at least a week, I think, because they were all dehydrated and stuff like that. But whatever happened with the bears? Like, they just disappeared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the bears came back. I think they were like really they were scared, of course, of the bears because it killed two of them, the present girls. But yeah, I don't think the girls ever came back, or the bears did.
They're
Um,
like, "We're outta here. You guys are crazy."
do you think the bears were Madeline's, like she possessed it? Because they said like black bears aren't usually like that vicious. It's grizzly bears.
Yeah, they went into a lot of detail about that. Why didn't they just
Yeah,
put grizzly bears in there? I think the
because
bear was like
Rose
that
knew everything
family.
about bears.
Rose did. She knew everything about everything, and she kicked ass. She was, like, just beating people up left and right.
She was. She was about to kill Bella at one point. She's just beating beat down everybody.
I just pictured her like a wrestler, just picking up everyone and throwing them. But I think that they said that the bear was, like, their family mascot or something, so she must have conjured the bear somehow.
Yeah, like it wasn't ever a real bear. It was like a ghost bear, a ghost family beauty pageant
They
bear.
had to get rid of some characters, like, right off the bat because there was too many.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you made it in. We got to go now. You got to get attacked by a bear." Nope, I wouldn't even try. I don't think I have competitive bone in my body. I mean, I'm I can be competitive. I am an Aries, but like not like that. Not like Rose for sure. Like or Holly. No.
But she was, like, really feeling like she was brought there just to be sacrificed at one point. So, I kind of felt like Rose, I could understand her motives a little bit more because she started getting really like, "Oh, this is the only reason you brought me here was that you could, like, sacrifice me to this thing."
Yeah, cuz she found was it Holly's note or somebody's note? It was just like sacrifice cuz she
Yeah, and it
also
didn't
had to
help
leave.
that she found, like, her dad.
Yeah. I couldn't just take out people. I'd feel so bad. So I would not be the prettiest girl in the grave. Yeah, same. I wonder too if it just happens to like teenagers because they're stupid. Like that they would do something like that. Like that's all Madeline has is stupid teenagers every like 50 years wandering in or something.
But she
Also,
was kinda young herself, though.
yeah, because she's like adolescent. Um, Also, I can't lick an eyeball.
I could lick an eyeball if I had to, but not to get a spider out. I'm not putting a spider in my mouth.
Also, like that wasn't even part of the game. Rose just did that.
That was just for fun.
Yeah, Rose just did that to be helpful. She didn't want to see Aubrey claw out her eyeball at the beginning.
She knew everything about bears and how the best way to get rid of spiders.
Yeah. Um, so I said like this kind of reminds me of a movie, like a B movie. I feel like this could be made in the 90s or something. I mean, it could be made nowadays, but what B movie or book or just horror movie does it remind you of? Or recommendations similar?
Well, I kind of already said, and I think it's just because I just watched it, but that you're gonna have to tell me the title of it again. From Above, Down Below.
Oh, As Above, So Below, I think.
Yes. So it when I started reading it, I'm like, "Oh shit, we're going down underground," and we're like at one point they're like crawling through to who crawls through a hole? Like, I'm gonna pull this wood stake out that was put there to hold this hole open and whatever. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But again, I hardly see any movies, so um and I just watched that one. But that's what it had reminded me of at first. Like just that whole underground aspect of it and being stuck there and not knowing if you can ever escape.
That's a good one. It kind of reminded. Have you ever seen Pumpkinhead?
I don't think so.
That's a good one. It's more of a folklore movie about this guy getting like revenge and summoning Pumpkinhead. But I wrote down Night of the Demons. Have you seen Night of the Demons?
I haven't.
It's like these kids break into a mortuary, abandoned mortuary or whatever, with dead people, and like to have a Halloween party. And like some stuff goes down. On Blair Witch, I think it had some good Blair Witch vibes
Yeah, I
in it.
also when I was watching As Above, So Below, I that reminded me of Blair Witch as well. I
Yep.
guess because of like the footage and like the cameras. Yeah.
That movie's so good. I remember the part with the phone ringing
That was
in
pretty
it.
early on. That was enough that I would have just peed my pants right there.
They were like, that should not be happening here. Why is
Yeah,
that
and then you
happening?
find out later what that phone call was. That was pretty yeah.
Yeah, it's messed up. And also in the book too, there's like it is a catacomb. Like they walk into the room and it's like bones everywhere in the
Yes.
walls and on the ceiling
Yeah.
and stuff. Uh, so yeah, that is a really good suggestion. As for books, I honestly don't think this is like any other book I've read. Um, yeah, I
I
couldn't really
feel
think
like
of one.
the whole idea of the pageant and all of that stuff, obviously written in a very different style, but it does kind of remind me of like Fear Street type books where it's always like just this younger audience and it's always this just kind of stupid thing that no one else would ever care about. But like this beauty pageant, it's just written better and for adults in this version. But it does kind of remind me of that whole, I guess, what do you call it? Prom king and queen type situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Like a Fear Street book. I feel like it read really quickly, kind of
Yeah,
like
it
a
did.
younger like YA book too. That would help if I took this down. Dun, dun, dun. Um, Kelsey, that sounds like a thing the true killer would say. Kelsey is all like heart of stone until she has to take peeps.
She just likes to
No.
creep and peep.
I loved As Above, So Below. Book rec Into the Sublime by Kate A. Borman, YA subterranean thriller, horror blend. Ooh, I got that. I got that when I was in Baltimore at the Books a Million. I was like, this cover is cool.
I haven't even heard of this one.
The cover's really cool. It's like a girl in like water with like her hair out. It's like one of those YA horror books that has the great cover, or like they all do. Also, the rat episode of Cabinet of Curiosity. Oh my gosh,
Oh, is that the
yes.
grave robber one? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would there's no rats in this though, I don't think, but the vibes of that.
Like getting trapped in there, yeah.
Um yeah, it did feel claustrophobic. Like especially when the Aubrey was going in that small space to be spidered.
And then she like admits that that's what she's actually afraid of and you're like, "Then why did you do that?"
What did she say she was afraid of?
I don't
Um
remember. She gave all cop out answers, I think.
yeah, cuz she said like I love the dead
She's
is
like,
who
"I'm
she
afraid of
loved.
not being goth enough.
Yeah, I got to be super goth. I'm a
I'm
goth
gonna run
queen.
out of eyeliner."
That's my worst. That's what I'm afraid of. Um, yeah. Damn, Into the Sky does look awesome. Yeah, it's a really cool cover. Um,
I'm gonna have
more
to
than a
look that up in
thriller.
those movies.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead is that dude. It has the dude from Alien. No, Aliens. He plays the robot in it. And he's like the main character. I forget his name, but there's like this old lady like in it, and I always mimic her. People who've seen the movie, she's like in a rocking chair and she has like crazy long hair and she's like next to a fire and she's like, nothing I can do for him. He's too gone. When he just walks in, like she just says it. She's like, nothing I can do for him. He's just gone. Like it's so quick and southern. You're like, what did she say? Like it's like sounds like some of my relatives like talking. Lance Henriksen. Yes. I did not know his name, but he's great in it. He's like it's like a revenge story.
I
But
love
yeah.
me some revenge.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite horror movies. Pumpkinhead looks amazing in it.
I'm gonna have to look that one up after this.
Any final thoughts about the prettiest girl in the grave? Anybody in the chat or Kristine? I think, yeah, I think this is my favorite Triana book because, yeah, I think this is the highest rated one I've given.
I definitely liked Gone to See the Riverman more, but it was just like this overall feeling of being unsettled the entire time. And I did really love, well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that didn't read, but yeah, I like the way that this was started off. And then I don't know if I was just thinking about it too much, knowing we were going to discuss it, as opposed to if I was just reading it on my own, I would have like maybe not cared as much about that stuff. But yeah, I wish that the girl on girl hating could have had a reason or had some redemption or something at the end, a lesson learned, something.
Or at least one character being like, that's messed up.
Something.
Like, why do we not do this?
I would have liked to have seen more of their fears like come to life. I thought that part was really fun. I just wanted
Yeah.
to see him tortured more, I guess.
Yeah, and I think oh yeah, I have the little is this what Holly wrote? It's some girls are fearful, others are brave. One girl's a princess, the next one a slave, but all girls are equal when they're down in the cave until just one is left standing, the
The
prettiest
prettiest
girl
girl in the
in the
grave.
grave. Dun dun dun. They should have known by that. They should have known, hey, this is a beauty pageant. Like
I didn't even read the back until I was already into it, but it tells you like even that the mom was part of
yeah.
this thing before.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a regular horror. I was like, I don't know. Because I like to go in pretty blind.
Yeah, me too.
Have you read the sequel to Gone to See the Riverman?
Not yet. I was a little scared because it sounded like it was going to be like more like police procedural type, maybe thriller type. I don't know. I will get to it, and I will read more Christopher Triana. I did, he's got some good lines in this, and he's got some good scenes, as he did in Gone to See the Riverman, like things that will be living in my head for quite some time.
Yeah, there's some really scary parts in that part. Like, I think the basement part in Gone to See the Riverman. I remember I was like,
That's what I was talking about when they're like, you need to go in the chest and get this thing. And then I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, that part is a lot.
That was my favorite part.
I already showed that one. I love this Into the Sublime. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you
so
all
nice.
for joining. And yeah, I was like, stay tuned. No, I will
Stay tuned for
post.
January.
Stay tuned for January. just stay on here until January. I should have some information out by like middle of December about the first quarter books for the Reaper Book Club. And thank you so much for joining me, Kristine, and everybody in
Thanks
the
for
chat.
having me.
And
Yeah.
have a great night. Bye.
Bye.